Alright guys, just got home Saturday around noon on April 13th, and hauled off some trash this morning out in town. I just jumped right up and started doing some stuff since it's pretty outside, and I decided to stop by the library because I needed to print off some pictures for a community project that's going on where myself and a few other people have done a community project of creating sort of a comic book universe. And I sent out an email last night. They should start sending out work, making videos of their peer work. Everybody made their own comic book. Nobody talked to each other, and then they started sending me their material, which I have here. And I wanted to connect the dots and try to make it one cohesive, like, universe or story. But they're going to do videos where they show their peer work, which I'm excited about. It's great stuff. It's great stuff. Well, unfortunately, the library was not able to get their printer to work to print the pictures off. So when I make the video, I'm just going to download the pictures from the emails, make the video, and edit it and put their pictures in there if that'll work. Anyway, so while I'm at the library, they always push out a little cart. I haven't been there in months. This is a very small town. And on that cart are books they have for sale and video, some used stuff. So when I was looking around, I spotted a few things. I got Joe Dante's Inner Space. This is from 1987. I got this for $1. It's a Joe Dante directed film, which is awesome. Mark Short's in it. It's more or less a remake of Fantastic Voyage, where they go inside of a body. And then they had some books on cassette. Okay. Star Trek Next Generation Dark Mirror. I always loved the Mirror universe with Star Trek. It's on cassette tapes, and that was $1. Then on the other side of the cart, I thought I spotted something. And I was like, no way. No way. Yes way. I just got home from getting this, okay? This is the first 3 volumes of John Constantine Hellblazer. Okay? This in trade. Okay? We have Hellblazer Original Sin, originally for $19.99. And let me see. This reprints John Constantine Hellblazer 1 through 9 and Swamp Thing 76, 77. This is volume 2. This reprints Hellblazer 10 through 13, Hellblazer Annual 1, The Horrorist 1 through 2, Hellblazer 10 through 13, and the Hellblazer Annual. Those are from 1988 and 89. When did this come out? Because I'm assuming these are really new, which I'm sure they are. Bear with me here, because this is an awesome find. It's just blown my mind. Anyway, and then we have a David Finch cover. This is John Constantine Hellblazer 3. Okay. This is the Fear Machine, and this starts at number 14. I know that. These came out in 2012. This is when these came out. I finally found it. This reprints Hellblazer 14 through 22. These were all from just the last year. Yep, 2011, and also 2011. They had these with the used paperback books, so they were 50 cents a piece. Okay, these retail for $19, $19, and $25. $65 worth of trade for $1.50. Let's look at those again. 1, 2, and 3 at the library. David Finch covers for these new trades. 50 cents a piece. You talk about Howlermouse hustling. I was blown away. And it turns out the lady at the library remembered me, and she was like, that guy, I haven't been in there because I've been so busy at work in months. And so they finally took down my work number and my name, and I wrote down a few little notes. And if they have anything else coming in like that, they'll give me a call. So basically an old VHS tape, a beat up audio book cost more than $25 and $20 trades. I love this hobby. So, Hero Hunter 1, Hero Hunter 81, I think is his number on there, Hero Hunter, made a comment in one of the videos I always seen positive and stuff, which I thought was great. I really work at it. But this was a week at work and a week with people and a week with some stuff where, you know, by Tuesday I was just like, I could quit my job. I'm just fed up. I got grumpy yesterday, really grumpy. I started getting real touchy towards people around me on Thursday and stuff, and just hadn't been sleeping, all this stuff. And you know, when we come to this community on YouTube, and this is a community, you know what? We've got our superstars, but you know, in my mind, there's no like elites. There's no people who are better than anybody else. Nobody, you know, some people know better things. Some people have been around longer. And I don't think this YouTube community for our comic books is a place to come where you want to try to become some big YouTube/internet sensation. Because what it breaks down to is that it's kind of like we're friends and neighbors. And you got people who hang out more with other people because they have more in common. Just in general, they came into the community around the same time. They've watched the same people. And that's all great. And the whole thing is, it's like, to me, there's always an open door to talk to other people, to cross over with other people's, you know, podcasts and stuff. I popped up on Loki Goblin. I popped up on Agent 42Q, you know, comic book podcast, finally designed and all this stuff. And with that said, right there, you know, when you have a crap week and you have this community in your life, you kind of get to come home to a surprise that just freaking makes everything just feel so okay because there's somebody out there thinking of you. The great Steve Ogden has sent a package that I did not know was coming. Steve Ogden does not make videos. He, a regular viewer, he and I email back and forth. He's a great guy. We've started texting. I sent him a text thanking you for these books. I've asked him to give me a call when he gets a chance. And you know, can't wait to talk to him. I mean, he lives a state over. You know, he lives probably about 8-9 hours away, state over. So just a great guy. But I came home, and I'm not even rushing through this video, man, because the haul that he gave me is going to get you hooked. I came home, found that leaned against my door. You know, it's in a used Amazon box. I'm like, I didn't order anything. And then I saw the address. I came in. And I tell you what, man, this is some great stuff. He sent 3 old forgotten fantasy books that just, I've never seen these before. They're classic science fiction fantasy from 1970, according to the cover dates. Look at these covers. Alright. You know, the Goddess of Avatar. Arthur Conan Doyle has stories in here. Lord Dunsany. I mean, I love this stuff because you never know who they are. And the cover art just blows me away. I mean, look at that. You know, and then we have this one, Nathaniel Hawthorne. It's got Valley of the Spiders by H.G. Wells. And look at this. It's like, you know, you got some kind of warrior on a horse fighting gigantic spiders. Looks like you get some kind of caveman or something. I've never read this. Absolutely love these, right? So I go through the box, you know, he sent me a ton of old Marvel cards. I think these are from the 90s. I want to say that Hildebrandt, it's 1992. It's the Marvel Masterpieces. And I know Joe Jusko did some of these, if he didn't do all of them. And it's Joe Jusko, if I'm saying his name right, man. You know, the guy who did tons of Marvel's Conan magazine covers, man, just great. I mean, he's like the second generation of Frank Frazetta. But, you know, when he started doing these cards back in the day, it was just blowing my mind. I wanted them all because Joe Jusko, you know, he did very, very little actual superhero work that I can say off the top of my head. I think he did some pencils for Black Panther back in the 90s for Marvel Knights. He did a famous She-Hulk, I think a She-Hulk poster and a Mary Jane poster for some of their bikini stuff. So, I mean, tons of these. I flipped through them, and I'm not going to take them out of the bag again, but I was just, oh, yes, you know. And then he sent, you know, then I started going through here, saw some books. He sent, he knows I'm a Byrne fan, so he sent, I never heard of this, The Highways by John Byrne from IDW. Can't wait to check that out. I flipped through it. Steve Gerber stuff with Will Portatio art. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I have not started coming around to Will. I'm way behind on Will Portatio. I remember some of his X Factor stuff. I know he did some great inks here and there. And these have just blown me away. Legion of the Night, 2-issue prestige series. Steve Gerber, Will Portatio, Scott Williams, Paul Mounts. I cannot wait to read this mind trip that Steve Gerber has laid out with an artist of that caliber. Sent me a Defiant Genesis book. Now this is a book that kind of introduces you to the Defiant universe, but this one's a bit more rare because it came out at Comic Fest 93 because of that banner. So that's kind of a collectible if you're into the Defiant universe. Defiant Comics got put out of business and they weren't even out. They might have made it. They weren't even out a year. I think one book made issue 13 before they were having their big crossover with all their books and setting up this universe. And Marvel took them to court, and Defiant won against Marvel, but they depleted their resources. So Defiant Genesis, the Defiant Universe, is actually one of those comic book companies that you can get all the issues relatively cheap, and that's kind of cool. Okay. All right, going on here, man. He sent me some Warlord number 62. Warlord is always cool. Even when Dan Jurgens was on it, you know. What is that? 74, 120. It's always dug in, okay? And then we got in here and he sent me some Marvel Team Up, man. I think Byrne did this one. I'm not sure about this one. But we got number 68, Spider-Man meets a Man-Thing. It's always good to get a Man-Thing in the mail and show people your Man-Thing. It makes us all closer. And we got Spider-Man and Santana in number 81, which this is awesome because I always thought Satana was just a cool looking little character. I haven't read a whole lot about her. You know, that's a staple of the 70s. And then it just got better and better, man. I love this character, Nebulon, the Celestial Man, issue 34 of the Defenders. And for some reason, this book sticks out in my mind. I haven't done research on it, but I know I always wanted it. I've got a Defenders annual or something that deals with Nebulon. I got an appearance here and there. Something about issue 34 makes me think that was a special Defenders book. I don't know why. And then this one, I never saw this one. This is a number 55 with a Gil Kane and Joe Sinnott cover. Now, I'm a Gil Kane fan, and I'm a huge Joe Sinnott fan, you know, from back in the day. Then he said this, Giant Size Defenders number 3. Again, a book I have never seen. I mean, the cover looks familiar, but I'm positive I've never read this. So I started flipping through this one. I was like, oh, this is sweet. So I get in here. Listen to these credits, man. This is from 1974, okay? Steve Gerber, Jim Starlin, Len Wein plotted. And then Jim Starlin did the layout, so it's Jim Starlin art. Steve Gerber wrote the script, and then they had all these people come in and finish up the art, I think. Finish the art, so, you know. And what is great about this is that it's just a solid story, man. This thing is just, let me find it. You get pages where you get a big splash page, and then you get that famous Steve Gerber prose to read to go with the story. You know, there's a couple pages like that. And they got some characters in here that pop up years later in a Thor annual, that one of the first ones that I read with Steve Gerber with, let me back up. One of the books that really hooked me when I was a kid was a Thor annual, and I can't believe I'm going blank, but it's got the Guardians of the Galaxy in it, and it has Korvac in it, and Korvac's aliens, and I'll be damned if they're not in here first. I had no idea. There's Korvac, of course. I had no, and his band of aliens from the future. I haven't read this, so I don't know what they're all doing there. But it's got Manslayer, and he gives Hulk a run for his money. I love that little guy. You know, so just a mind trip of things, man. So I keep going through there. I get Champions number 3. I don't know Champions. I flipped through them back in the 80s. I don't really remember too much. I know they had Swarm in there and a few other characters. And then he sent me some Silver Age stuff. and my mouth started dropping. I was like, oh my God, Steve, you know, it's like Christmas. Strange Tales 151, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange Tales number 164, Doctor Strange and Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then this next one got me, man. Now, I know maybe, I don't know the collectability of it, I don't know, but you know, I'm really into the story and the character and stuff. And I got real excited about this one because it's Astonishing Tales number 2. And yes, it has Kazar, but we get a Doctor Doom story. I love Doctor Doom stories. They're done so right. And I was like, oh, Steve, you've outdone yourself, man. I'm just like, wow. And, you know, and then he sends this back issue. And he had a letter that he wrote with this explaining each issue. I mean, he took a lot of time with this, which is just amazing. I'm so grateful. But this back issue goes back and looks at Superman through the Bronze Age. Now, I consider myself a Walt Weisinger 60s fan of Superman. That's where we started getting, you know, all the colors of kryptonite, and they expanded on Krypton a little bit. You know, a lot of people were kind of, you know, super pets and stuff. It was all fun. But when after reading this and seeing the books they listed in this, going over it and stuff, I have tons and tons and tons of the Kurt Swan books. I have tons of a lot of the books they showed in this I have in my collection. And I'm just a Superman fan all the way around, you know, back in the day and stuff. And it was just good to read this and realize all the books I have in my collection that are mentioned in this, and they expand on them a little bit, and they talk about Superman. I cannot wait to dive into this. Then, a heavy metal from 1977, okay? May of 1977. 77 is, in my opinion, the best books to get of heavy metal because they were still bringing over the European stuff. This started out as a book in France, and it translated to Howling Metal. Is that not cool? And the first, you know, couple years they were adding, just kind of taking the European artist stories, translating them into English and reprinting them. And then they started bringing in Bernie Wrightson and a few other people, you know, Roger Corman and all this stuff. And this thing is just pure heavy metal. I can't show it to you because it's got Mobius in it, it's got Von Bode in it, it's got a few other people in there. It's a great sci-fi stories. It has boobies. That's why I can't show it. It's just awesome. And you just look at that cover, man. I think this is 1977. You know, they were doing this before Star Wars hit and people were getting into sci-fi. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, that was great. And I get to the bottom of the box. And if you know me and you watch my videos, you know I'm a fan of this, big time. It was a movie, I was a fan of the cartoon, the strip, and it means a lot to me. And I literally started shaking just from surprise. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, I wasn't like convulsed or nothing, but I was like, whoa, kind of like having a Nick fit, or you haven't had your coffee kind of shaking, because I could not believe what he sent. Now with that big, you know, I think, I hope this won't disappoint you, but this means so much to me. It's almost like Steve put it in the bottom of the box so I could find it, that one last great book. It's the magazine edition. You get a comic here so you can see how much bigger this is, of Flash Gordon the movie by Al Williamson. Holy crap, you see how much bigger that is? And not only, now I have these, they split this up in their comics in threes, but this thing is oversized, color brighter, better. I mean, this is exactly how it should have been, man. This thing was $1.95 when it came out, like in 1980, 81. I mean, just look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. And I mean, I could go through this thing. This thing is just beautiful, man. The inside cover's got the cast of the movie. You know, kind of like a little movie poster there of it that Williamson did. It's just gorgeous all the way through, man. All the way through. I mean, but even the back cover art. You know, those things aren't in the comics they split them up in. I mean, just amazing. And we were joking around on the podcast, Comic Talk podcast last night. You know, that's not Timothy Dalton in here. Got the mustache. When I read this, that will now be Freddie Mercury. You know, this dude here. Behind Clytus. What was bad is when I read this as a kid, I thought his name was Clytus, and I was like, I don't think that's right. So thank you, Steve Ogden. I mean, you sent me so much great stuff, man, but you got me with this one. This was the one that got me, and I think you knew it. I think you knew that one was going to hit me. So thank you so much. Give me a ring, man. All right. And guys, be looking out for the, if you've made it this far, be looking out for the community project videos I'm going to start. Hopefully I'll have everything ready tomorrow night to post a video up. It's going to take me a little bit more time now that I'm going to actually have to edit a video instead of coming in here, so I'll get it out as soon as I can. Carry on.